Well, hello everyone, and welcome to a very, very special episode of the Hillbilly Files. For those of you who don't know, my name is Leo, and I am out, as you can see, at the Matewan Grade School in Matewan, West Virginia. And we are on a treasure hunt today. Straight up, legit treasure hunt. Now, as all of you know, not all treasures are gold and silver. Some of them are knowledge. And that's the treasure that we're out to get today. Heather and I have been working on this story for about 6 weeks now. You see, hidden in the trees behind these buildings and lost in many years of silence lies a cemetery that most people in town have nearly forgotten. Somewhere up the steep hillsides behind this building rests the Old Matewan Cemetery, a place where time has nearly erased everyone, leaving behind only uneven ground and the sense that someone is still there just beneath the surface. Now, some of the oldest graves likely date back to when the town was first finding its place here in southern West Virginia along the Tug Fork River. This is one of the oldest burial grounds in the historic town of Matewan, a lost piece of the town's soul that overlooks everything below it but goes unnoticed by almost everyone who passes by. Now, we learned about the location through what's called an old Sanborn fire insurance map from 1900. I didn't even know they had fire insurance back then, but apparently so, which marked a CEM, which is short for cemetery, just behind the old original Matewan school building. Now, the school itself traces its roots back to the early 1900s, with first structures built here around 1914 to serve the growing coal boom town. Those maps matched memory exactly, confirming what the townspeople had been saying for years, that the old graveyard sits up on the hill, hidden in the woods behind the school building. Now, decades later, in April of 1977, a massive flood hit Matewan, the worst in the town's history. The Tug Fork River rose so high that it reached the 3rd floor of the school, destroying classrooms and leaving water lines all across the brick. When the floodwaters receded, children playing near the buildings were reported to have found human bones and pieces of old coffins that had washed down from the hillside. Others remembered seeing sunken spots and tilted stones up there. The stories faded over time, but they did line up perfectly with what the old maps showed. So this is my mission today, to try to find the miners, the mothers, the children, and the veterans who were laid to rest here long before the world forgot their names. Every unmarked grave tells the story that built this town, and if we don't search for them, their legacies and their stories will die with them. Just trying to find this old cemetery, this is the part where you have to come in person and go find it. But if it's worth it if I can bring some of these names to light and bring back some of their stories again. Matewan is an amazing place full of amazing history, from the Matewan Massacre to the Hatfields and McCoys mine wars, and it's also a part of my own history too. It was the early 1800s when my own family rode into this area, when it was truly wild and untamed wild West Virginia. Some of them have lost graves, I should say, not far from here as well. You never know who you're going to find when it's all said and done. Now, I've got y'all up to speed on that. Now, we have jumped through, you would not believe how many hoops we've jumped through, guys, to get permission. There's an active school here, obviously, right? Saturday morning. I had to go through the Board of Education, Mingo County Board of Education, to get their approval. Okay, this is on their land. Now, legally, technically speaking, you have a legal right, you have a right of way to visit, your ancestors on your family grave. Even if someone else does on the land, you have a legal right. But there is an active school here, right? So you have to, you gotta have to work with the people here, right? So anyway, I came up once before. I was doing a story on this cemetery over here, as a matter of fact, right over there, and came over here and just happened to see some of the teachers out here. Now, I was kind of sniffing around. I looked through satellite images, don't have a good one. So just kind of sniffing around, just walk around the school, and happened to see one of the teachers, history teacher. She said that she saw headstones back there in the winter a couple years ago, that she did notice what appeared to be headstones. So it does look like I am actually on the right trail here. And just see exactly who is up here, because quite frankly, no one knows. Now, this spot where I'm having to go in here, there used to be, see, these buildings were replaced, obviously. This is a newer building. Now, let me kind of walk around here. I've got some stuff I want to show you guys. You can see where there are two old stone pillars. So I have to walk all the way back around. I just wanted to start here, but I have to walk all the way around the school to show it to you. But there are two old stone pillars that I highly find suspicious. And I think that may be the entrance to the old cemetery. But I brought my drone so I can do a little aerial reconnaissance and see if I can't find, where it's at, possibly even an easy way to get up to it. But it's very brushy, very thorny, very, 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 very overgrown. But when you get right down to it, when you've got a bunch of thorns you've got to get through, what's the best thing to do? The most intelligent thing you can do, send in Brer Rabbit. He likes that stuff. So that's my plan. I'm going to go out here, get my drone, do a little aerial reconnaissance. It's back there on that hillside somewhere, in theory. And just see if I can see anything at all with the drone. Maybe kind of give me just a little bit of an idea. If I don't, well, you know what's next. Then you just get in there, start crawling through the thorns, and see if you can find something or not. That I was talking about, the two stones, and you can see a little bit of retaining wall right there. Just a little bit. Now, I believe, so you can see there's a stair right there underneath the weeds. I believe the cemetery I'm looking for is straight up there, straight through the brambles and the thorns and the vines, and yeah, always got to be like that, don't it? There's always a mountain. That's okay though. We just happen to have a mountain goat that loves doing that stuff. Sorry if I seem a little bit, a little bit hyper, I know I'm looking for a graveyard and it's a somber thing, but I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm very excited. We can take a few thorns. We don't mind. We don't like the thorn part. We like going through them, but we don't like getting caught by the thorns. And we're gonna probably go do that a little bit today anyway. But anyway, guys, come along. Let's go see if we can't find this old cemetery and see if we can't unearth some significant lost history. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to find something. For all I know, I may not. There's an old, in videography, you know, when you're doing videos, whether it's movies or YouTube or whatever, there's a term called Geraldoing. Y'all remember the episode of Geraldo where he went looking for Al Capone's vault and it was totally empty after all this money, resources, and time and all this other stuff? He gets there and it's just empty. It's called doing a Geraldo. There's a possibility. There's a possibility that I could pull a Geraldo today. We could be totally on the wrong track. Okay, drone is ready. We've got GPS satellite acquisition finished. Got 10 locked onto 10 satellites, so we should be ready to go. Lift off. Record. Make sure we're recording this. Gonna be a tough one. Do it the hard way. So be it. Well, I've flew the drone, and at best we'll call it inconclusive. Didn't see anything. Hang on. I just found a penny. We'll call that lucky penny, and we'll go with it. Wish me luck, guys. We'll just hang on to that just for a little bit of luck. But anyway, I've got my mechanics coveralls on, my military mechanics coveralls on, and got me a little 12-inch CC chainsaw with 2 full batteries, so we should be good to go. But I guess, like I said, the drone was inconclusive. I couldn't see, couldn't get close enough for the trees to tell for sure. So I guess it's like I said, that's the time you send in Brer Rabbit, right? Now here we go. Here we go. Time to get in the weeds. At least this time of year, shouldn't be any snakes. It's pretty cool out here right now. You gotta go under that one. I'm sure there are probably stairs under here somewhere. Of course, under there somewhere don't really help much now, does it? There's one way. One way to do it, ain't it? Hang on. Sorry. Slipping here just a little bit. I probably should have done it without the saw. Through that spot. Hang on. Sorry if I'm holding the camera sideways, but it's only because I'm sideways at the time. A little path already. I see a flat up there. I don't see any yucca or anything like that. We'll find out, won't we? Let's see. Path of least resistance. Right there. Ouch. Ouch. Those got through the coveralls. I wonder if Brer Rabbit gets poked sometimes. I see the flat. Right there's the flat. Ouch. Very thorny. Very, 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 very thorny. Okay, now we're up here. Fun part. Okay. Now we got that part done. Time to start looking. See y'all in a minute. Well, no luck yet. I've been climbing. Came up over that way. And then came up through here and went out that way, out behind me, but it just gets steeper and steeper and steeper out that way. So I don't believe that's it. I think I took, when I came up where those stairs were and turned this way, I think I should have either turned the other way or gone straight on up. One of the two. So we'll see. I think I'll go right there about, 60 feet or so, to where I can see the other side of this one, just to be sure. And if I don't see anything over this way, head back, go out that way, and then up and see if I can't find something. But so far, nothing. Well guys, so far so bad. Not looking good. I thought I was gonna say so far so good, but nope. Unfortunately, nothing yet. But I'm not giving up just yet. Well, I've been up and down and left and right for about 2 or 3 hours now. And I'm right in the middle of a big thicket, as you can see. But I am sweating like a dog. But I guess the important thing is what I'm not doing. I'm not giving up. I'm still looking. I ain't gave up yet. I'm just working my way up a little higher, a little higher, a little higher every single time. I ran into, as I was going around, I saw a guy out working on his house and yelled down to him, "Hey, would you happen to know about an old graveyard up here?" And he said, "I think there was an old fence back around that way." He said, "But I don't know what it goes to." He said, "So you might try that." So yeah, I'm back up behind the school again. The school's down here. I went that way, past it down low, this way past it down low, and now I'm getting up some altitude here. I've almost climbed up. I can see the top of that other mountain over there. So we're getting up there, that's for sure. Kind of hard to believe that it would be this high, but I have seen strange things, in these mountains. They make a tram road, put in a graveyard, then 100 years later, that tram road don't exist anymore. It looks exactly like this. So, continue on. Take a break for a minute, catch my breath, and continue the search. Well, I am, as you can see, way, way, way up on top of the mountain. You can barely see the road. It looks like a ant trail down there. Little cars look like ants from up here. The bad part is, guys, I haven't found anything. Haven't found anything that even remotely I think could be it. And I highly doubt that it would be any higher, because this just gets steeper as we go up. So I'm going to start working my way back down. There was one spot down by the bottom that I didn't really get a chance to look in because it was, you know, brush covered. So I'll go down through there and work my way back through that and see if we see anything down there. This may very well be a Geraldo. 6 weeks worth of work, getting approval from the Board of Education, approval from the city of Matewan through the mayor's office, and a lot of research and a whole lot of climbing. And it's not looking good, is it? Not looking real good at all. Of course, I mean, it's a possibility that the graveyard only had a handful of graves in it and no markers. You know, that's a possibility. In which case, they are truly lost forever. You know, there's no way you would find them here. You know, you couldn't even do ground penetrating radar here and find them on the side of this mountain. You know, if we can't find them today, then this old graveyard is absolutely lost. And that's pretty much a fact, because we've gone by the maps, we've gone by the research, and we've came out and looked. Unless it's in this one other little spot down there, I'm at a loss. Okay, on with the Geraldo adventure. Well, guys, not looking good for the home team. I'm pretty sure, I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure that I'm standing in the middle of the graveyard right now. There are no markers of any kind, but the gates are right there. I got a little bit, gates are right there, and so I'm assuming this is probably it. But like I said, I can't prove it. The hill just gets steeper and more dense as you go up, so I don't really see anybody going all the way up there with one. But I can certainly see right here, you know. Like I said, the gates are right there. The old posts to the gate are right, literally on the other side of that tree right there. So I do believe this is it. But either there were never any markers here, or they've been lost over time. This could very well be a real historic old graveyard that is truly lost to time. You know, on occasion you do run into those, and I do believe that this is one. The old maps show the cemetery, CEM, directly behind the school, and like I said, you can see the gates to the entrance right there, and it just gets worse as you go on up. So I cannot prove it, but I do believe that I am most likely standing right in the middle of that graveyard, and it's just unmarked. It's rough, ain't it? Come out and do all that climbing, 6 weeks worth of work, and all that climbing. I mean, I went way up there. I was almost to the top, even with that one, when I got to the top. And I went way out through that way back out through here. Did not see anything that even remotely looked like a graveyard. And quite frankly, I went way higher than you would want to bring a grave, even with oxen. I guess it looks like this one is officially a Geraldo. Oh well, I guess I'm overdue for a Geraldo. I'm well overdue for one, so I guess it's about that time, I suppose. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the little story and trampling through the woods, getting our mountain goat on today quite a bit. I mean, way out through there, way up. I zigzagged all the way up that side, zigzagged all the way up this side, went way out through there, way out through that way, and didn't see anything that could even remotely look like a graveyard. Nothing. I mean, it's like that, you know, it's super steep up in there. So I'm thinking this is probably it. This is probably the old lost historic graveyard under my feet. Well, y'all know how stubborn I am. What can I say? It pays to be stubborn sometimes. I left. The school's right over there. I gave up searching. Couldn't find anything. Possibly found it, maybe, don't know. Happened to, just out of curiosity, before I leave, let's just knock on some doors and talk to some locals and see what they say. First door I went to, right up here, just past this building on the left. First door I went to. Would you happen to know about anything about an old graveyard here? Not that one. You know, I pointed to that one down there. Not that one. There's supposed to be a really old one here somewhere overlooking the school. Would you guys happen to know anything about that? Go right down here. You'll see a gate. Go up around that gate, go up through that gate, and back around through there. You'll find it. It pays to be stubborn. It pays to be stubborn as hell. All right, here we go. One more mountain to climb today. Hopefully we'll get lucky and we'll find something, hopefully. All right, cross your fingers. We've struck out once. Well, we got one strike. You ain't struck out. We struck once. That don't count. It takes 3 to put you out. This will be number 2. Okay, here we go. Geraldoing up the mountain. Here we go. Well, I found a pair of cut off Daisy Dukes. And I'm burning up. I thought about putting them on. Just trade out, leave my pants there, and take the Daisy Dukes. Another mountain. I just did some climbing. I'm wore out. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm wore out. It's getting in the afternoon. It's been a long, long, long day. But that's where stubbornness usually comes in. No is not an acceptable answer, is it? If you said no, that's an unacceptable answer. Alright. Up another one. This thing's steep, dude. It's some ATV stuff right here. It's straight up. Oh, I need a break. Well, looky what I found. I found a graveyard. I went through, took a stick, kind of moved some of the leaves, you know, where I thought, you know, you can see where these stones are, where the next one would be, you know, kind of cleared a little bit, see if there's anything there. I found a whole bunch of stones, you know, just plain old field stones with no names or anything. Could very well be that one of those could be any of the people that, you know, I'm looking for like a half a dozen people, but no. I have here, I looked around, I have a grand total of 5 names to work with, but 5 little names, that's it. Now you can see fence posts went down here. There was a corner one there, and there's one right in front of that tree. So it went down here and turned, went across there and back up, and you can see a fence post right there. Now I found one out here, an old one laying down, so I'm assuming the fence line went across there to that one, down this way to about right there, across right in front of those trees, and then back up this way. But like I said, I've got, you can see field stones, you know, you can see them from here, there. We'll just do this one up here. It's the big one, and it's the easiest one to get to. I'm standing right at it. This one is the Steele family. It's Willis D. Steele, 1926 to 1991. and Irene W. Steele, born in 1932, no death date. And it could mean several things, actually. Could mean she's still alive, could mean she's remarried, could have, you know, buried someplace else, could have simply not put the date on there, that last time, you know, the date. It's a possibility. Don't know. But we've got those two names, Willis D. Steele, Irene W. Steele. Now, right over the hill, I have three right here with names. If I don't fall and bust my butt. I've been doing some serious mountaineering today, guys. Doing that thing where you grab onto the tree and swing around and grab one on the other side. I'm doing that stuff all day over on that steep mountain over there. But this one here, R-E-G-A-Y, Reggae J. Walker. It's a stillborn, well, not stillborn, close, 1946, September 7th to September 20th, 1946. This is usually, you know, a lot of times there won't be, because you can see the original one was just a stone, and this was added later. Right here we have Ep Steele, loving husband of Jenny S. Steele. That's something you don't see a whole lot. You usually see, you know, wife of, not husband of. The last one, now this one looks to be an older one. Get down here without falling. Jeannie Stafford. Okay, Jeannie Stafford, wife of Ep Steele, wife of Ep Steele, 1871 to 1942. It looks like an older stone, doesn't it? But other than that, we've got a lot of yucca plants. You can see them scattered, you know, a little patch of yucca here, there. It's just scattered all over the place around here. And even down in here outside the fence is a little bit, so that's a possibility. There could be something down there outside the fence. You know, fence added 50s, 60s, because, you know, it's wood. It's not 100, you know, 100 plus years old. Now, I saw, where was it? There's a field stone. I saw one right up here. So you can tell there's a grave right here. Look at that. There's a field stone. No name, no initials, no nothing. But you can see the grave is right there. Well, this one's kind of on an angle. I'm guessing right beside the tree, something like that. But it's just a field stone, you know, it's just a rock standing up in the dirt. It's all it is. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's probably rows of 5. That would make it 5, 10, 15, about 20 graves on this side. And only 3 with, 3 with markers and several with stones. Either way, this is Leo, possibly Geraldo. Checking out for the day, guys. I'm gonna go home and kick my shoes off. I am flat wore out. We'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a really good day. And like I said, Leo Rivera out.